So we're doing like the walk-in intro, I guess. Here, we'll try it again. So, hey everybody, and welcome to week 1 of science in the classroom. We're not in the classroom, it's like science in the kitchen. Science in the kitchen. Welcome to week 1 of science in the kitchen. So today we're going to be talking about the importance of having a scientific journal. So we're here in I guess this isn't my kitchen, but my cooking space, the best place for me to be able to record a video. And we're going to be talking about why it's important for a scientist to keep a journal, or a cook. In this case, it's going to be kind of both, being both a scientist and a cook. Why is it important for us to be able to write down what we do, or why is it important for us to write down our methods? So we're going to be doing that today, making some lemonade. So I got a bowl of lemons here, a lot of lemons. You can get them from like Central Market. It's like 3 for $1. You can go to H-E-B, they're probably just as cheap. I got some mint because I'm going to be making some mint lemonade. You can make whatever you want. You can make raspberry lemonade. You can make blueberry lemonade. You can throw mint in there, rosemary, thyme, I don't know, salt. See if it's any good. Get back to me on that. But remember that all these labs are completely optional. So you have to watch this video. You need to see what we're doing. If you choose to follow along with us, you're like, I'd be very happy for you to do that. But if you, for whatever reason, maybe like the H-E-B's out of lemons, or you don't have time to go get lemons, or you just don't like lemons, or you don't want to follow along with the lab, or your mom's like, sorry, you've hit your limit budget for the week, you don't have to actually make the lemonade. Just watch the video. So what we're going to be doing today is pretty easy. We're just going to be mixing together lemon, water, sugar, and whatever else you want, or just leave it at that. Regular lemonade's always refreshing. So let's go ahead and get started. I forgot some stuff in the kitchen. I need to walk back. My kitchen's that way. We're gonna walk back and get some stuff real quick. All right, we're back. I forgot a cup. You need a cup to drink lemonade. So let's get started talking about kind of safety of this. We're gonna be using a knife today to cut the lemons. And do not do this lab if you are home alone, because if you cut yourself or something like that, a parent, it's good to be there. To get started, we're going to have to collect some lemon juice. Now, in science or in cooking, a lot of times we can either use a measuring glass to measure liquids, so something like this where we can see how much lemon juice we're putting in. Personally, I like to use a scale. So I use a scale so I can see the grams of what we're cooking or what we're measuring, just because it's a little more precise. You have to try to like read it perfectly. And also a scale is just a lot easier to read. You just kind of read it off there and it's going to be super accurate. You can look up like weight of flour. You don't have to worry about how compressed it is or something like that. Scale is very, very useful if you want to already have one. If you don't already have one, you could go buy one. They're real cheap off Amazon, but if not, do your best. You're not gonna make bad lemonade. I don't think there's such a thing as bad lemonade. But to get started, we're gonna need a container to put our lemon juice in. We're going to need kind of a strainer, unless you're kind of a pulpy person. If you like pulp in your lemonade, you can have pulp in your lemonade. If you don't like, I don't like pulp, it's up to you. But we're going to put that over there. We also need a juicer, or if you just got like super strong hand strength, you can just squeeze your hand, squeeze the lemonade, get the juice. So we have our iPad here. This is what I'm going to be taking notes on. So in Notability, I'm going to start a document called like Lemonade Recipe Try 1. And my goal is to write down everything I do as exactly as possible, so that if someone else wanted to recreate my recipe, meaning that if I ever wanted to either like share my lemonade, like, hey, I made this awesome glass of lemonade, let me tell you how I made it, or if I wanted to recreate it for myself, I have to write it down exactly how I did it for me to be able to recreate it. That's really, really important. So whenever I make anything, bread, lemonade, steak, shrimp, you name it, I write down what I do, so that whenever, like tomorrow, when I'm like, oh man, that one glass was really good, I want to recreate it, I can look at my recipe and get it to a T, or exactly to how I had it. So to start off, I'm going to get 1 lemon, and you can see I'm just going to kind of squeeze it between my hands, do a little roll here. What we're doing right here is we're breaking up all those cells. You guys learned a lot about cells last year. But we're breaking up those cells that are in this lemon right here and releasing some of those juices. Then, let me move this real quick so you can see. We're going to get our knife, and we are going to extremely carefully, making sure that all fingers are out of the way, we are going to cut our lemon in half. Now we'll take our juicer. I have a pretty old-fashioned juicer here. It's just a glass like pointy thing that you rub on. Some of you may have like an electric juicer. Those are pretty fancy. Some of you may not have a juicer. That's okay too. You can always do the old squeeze method, but we want to make sure that, and I'll bring my strainer back over, we want to make sure that we have some way. I guess we don't need to make sure of anything. We're just getting the juice out of a lemon. So we're just going to squeeze this on here. Release that juice. So I'll kind of hold it up here. You can see I got the point. You're just squeezing and twisting. You got some seeds coming out. That's okay. If you're a pulp person, you can get pulpy here. You know, add some of the pulp. But I'm going to squeeze it out. You can see it's pretty empty in there. Now I got most of the juice out. And I'm just going to pour this lemon juice through my strainer into my measuring cup. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. So maybe a little speed up here, you know, get a little time lapse going. Now I'm going to let that sit for a few seconds just to let all the juice squeeze out of that pulp. Take my lemon, you know, and chuck it. Trash can. I got a trash can right off camera. So we're going to give this a little tap, tap, tap and throw that over there. Cool, so we have some lemon juice. Now, before we go just adding our lemon juice into our lemonade, we need to see how much lemon juice we have. So we're gonna take our scale, we're gonna take our glass here, put it on our scale, and we're gonna measure how much lemon juice we have. So your scale may have a button that says something like tare or 0. And what that means is it basically takes the weight off of the scale. So I put my glass on the scale and press 0, so it does not count the weight of the scale anymore. So I add my lemon juice, and I have 37 grams of lemon juice. So I'll take my iPad and open it up, and this is test number 1. Like, did I make good lemonade here? So I'm gonna open up Notability, get a fresh Notability document, and I would wanna write down on a brand new note, and I'll share this note with you. I would wanna write down on my brand new note, 37 grams of lemon juice. Now, when you're writing your recipe while you're making it, or when you're going through and talking about what you did, don't worry about having some perfect number written down, or like having it look perfect, you know. I know some of you like to do like highlight, change colors of the letter every single one. Don't worry about that right now. You can go back later and make sure that you have written it down in a way that you can understand. It's just a quick method. We're just writing down the information so that we can look back on it. So just chicken scratch it down, you know, 37 grams lemon juice. Your lemon may be bigger, you may have more, you may have less. We don't know yet. Now, I'm gonna take some of my water, and I'm gonna add that in. I can press 0 again, tear it out, and I'm just gonna fill up most of the glass, probably like 3/4 of the way, because maybe I wanna add ice later. So personally, I just added 213 grams of water. So I can just write down 213 grams of water. Water. So, we have our water in there, we have our lemon. Now we're gonna go ahead and give it a little stir up with our spoon here. We're gonna give it a taste. So that's pretty sour. We got a lot of lemon juice in there, but it's not watery. It has a good lemon flavor to it. So we're off to a good start. Now we need to figure out how much to sweeten this. So we're gonna make a good like solid lemonade first, and then we'll add the mint in after. So I take my scale again. Put my glass of lemon water on here. Go ahead and press that tare or 0 button and 0 back out. Get my sugar. And we're just gonna start by slowly adding like a spoonful of sugar. As the sound of, or I guess that's not Sound of Music. Mary Poppins, is that Mary Poppins? Mary spoonful of sugar? Yeah, well, we're gonna add a spoonful of sugar into here. So take our spoon of sugar, I guess that's a good amount. And this is a good part about having a scale. I don't have to try to like measure out teaspoons or tablespoons. I can just use whatever I have and go from there. So 14, I'm gonna do one more. I like my lemonade pretty sweet, so let's get another little spoonful of sugar here. Add it in. 21, that sounds pretty good, so I'm gonna give that a nice little stir here. Let's give that a taste right there. All right, that's pretty good. Not all my sugar is dissolved. Remember, if you taste like a crunch, that means your sugar's not dissolved. Just keep stirring. Like, you'll be able to get it in there. It's better to start with too little sugar and add more than it is to like add way too much sugar off the beginning. But, oh, I didn't write down how much sugar we had. So I need to write back down. I had like 20.3 grams of sugar. See, this is why it's important. Like, if I tried to remake this lemonade later, I wouldn't be able to get it to this perfect ratio. But I'm happy with the 20, so wrote down 20.3. I'm pretty happy with that. So I give it a taste again. No crunch. That's a pretty good cup of lemonade right there. Now, I want to add a little bit of something extra to it, a little bit of mint. So, you can get mint, if you have mint in your garden, which if you have an herb garden of any kind, you can pull it straight out of there. Just make sure you wash it first. If you buy it from like H-E-B or Central Market, and it's like in little bunches sitting there, make sure you wash that too. But I'm going to start with like maybe 3 leaves of mint. I can't really weigh mint down on a scale because it's pretty light. But we're just going to go with 3. You can see we got some like little decent sized leaves. Add too much mint, add not enough mint. It doesn't really matter. Like mint's pretty good. But I've already washed this. We're going to put it in our hands right here and we're just going to roll it up. Not into a ball, but just kind of break the surface of the leaf, like kind of beat it up a little. The reason why we're doing this is because we want to break all those little plant cells that are in there at the cell walls, and we want to kind of start to release that minty chemical in there that's gonna help us out. So we drop it in our drink, give it a good stir, and we're gonna let that sit for just 5-10 minutes. It's gonna get, the more like the mint leaves sitting in there, it's gonna get more minty with time. So you may want to, before adding more mint to your lemonade, you may want to let it sit for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes if you're making this beforehand, you know, if you're going to throw it in the fridge. Otherwise, you can just go for it and drink it if you're doing this as of drink. Now, my water's not that cold, so I'm going to go grab a couple ice cubes real quick. So drop in a few ice cubes there. And while that's chilling down, I'm going to put on my recipe that I put in 3 crushed mint leaves. Now, how could you change this up if you wanted to? If you were watching this and you're like, mint lemonade doesn't sound that good, you could put another fruit in there. You could put like a raspberry or a cherry, or you could put in lime instead of lemon. Like, the opportunities or the possibilities are endless. But what you need to decide is what you want to do, and then you need to make sure that you write it down. Because if you don't write it down, let's say for whatever reason you end up making something where it's like, wow, this is so delicious, I need to share it with everybody I know. If you don't write down what you do as a cook or as a scientist, it's lost to the void. It just, like that one thing is really good, but you don't get to go back to that. You're not able to remake it. So it's extremely, extremely, extremely important that we write stuff down. Now, as we're waiting for that to chill down, it's also really important that we clean up after ourselves. If you are a cook, if you are like, parents, please buy me lemons and sugar and mint and things like that, the absolute least you can do is clean up after yourselves. Parents, if you are watching this with your kid, make sure that they clean up their own mess. But if you make a really good lemonade or you make a really good drink of some kind and you want to share it with me, go ahead and send me an email. Tell me, send me your notes, clean it up a little, do whatever you want to do. But I look forward to seeing what you guys can make. Until next time, this is, what do we call it? The science of cooking and chemistry. Well, send me your name ideas for this show. I'd very much appreciate it. See you guys.